Okay, for our custom home design, we are going to make some changes on the approach that we're going to take for this particular design. So you're going to start with the Revit file that we started with already, but as far as our custom home sketch, we're not going to sketch at this point. At this point, what we're going to do is we're going to continue with the house design. Now, all of you guys did come up with a criteria. You filled out the Google form and you told me, oh, my house is going to be 1,700 square feet. Mine's going to be 2,200 square feet, whatever the case may be. So then at this point, just to get this going fast, and I'll tell you right now, this is not an ideal situation, but it's something we're going to have to do at this point. Is you're going to have to Google just Google the size of your home. Okay, so in my case, for this example, I'm going to use a 2,500 square foot home um, floor plan, and I'm going to, and I hate to say this out loud, I'm going to just copy this file, this floor plan. Okay, it's not something you want to do. It's not the ideal thing. I will tell you, some of these floor plans are copyrighted. Of course, I'm not sure how anybody can actually enforce that, but nonetheless, it's something you don't usually want to do, but you can, and it's been done before. And to be honest with you, even builders themselves, whenever whenever you see a home, sometimes you go to other homes from other builders and they look very similar. So even they that do it themselves. But nonetheless, I prefer for you to come out with your own layout. But this is what I'm going to be asking you. Just kind of Google one, look for one, and just Google one and look for it. Single level, by the way, for my design. Um, and then once you find the one you want, just go ahead and save it, whatever you need to do. I'm going to right click and save image as. I'm just going to save the image and just put it under my downloads folder. Floor plan 2500 and save. And then open that file. Show folder. There it is. And then open. I guess I'm just going to open with my Lego photos. There we go. Okay. Not a super high resolution image, but I don't really need a ton of information. The big thing for now that I'm going to demonstrate is mostly the outside walls and a few of the inside walls, and that's pretty much it. The rest you're going to be doing on your own. Okay. So this is the one I'm going to replicate for you. This is about 2,000. Well, it's exactly 2,391 square feet, which is pretty good. I mean, I did search for 2,500, so it gave me this one. I'm happy with this. I'm just going to go with this one for demonstration purposes. All right. So then what you're going to do is you're going to start on your Revit file. And on your Revit file, you should have already your site plan done under the site plan view, okay? Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but we're going to refer back to this a little later, okay? So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. I'm just going to select everything and just move this stuff out of the way for now. We are going to be going back to our site plan, but I don't want to deal with rotating the site plan at this point. And I'll have to explain this in a future video of how and when we're going to do this. But for now, I'm just going to move this information over because I do want to focus my house design in this area right in here. Okay, right in here is the area that I want to focus on. Okay. So like I said, you want to put your house design within these little elevation markers. This is where you usually want to put your house. These little markers are where our elevation views are going to be observed from. So you want to make sure you put your house design in here. A little later, we're going to go ahead and put the property line back over here. And at one point, we will then rotate it also. Okay. So there's a technique for that. You can't just simply rotate it. And like I said, that's something I'm going to explain a little bit later. Don't erase it though. You already took the time to put in all the barriers and distances. So just don't erase it. Just make sure you leave it. Just move it off to the side. It was here to begin with. Just move it over here. And then we'll deal with it a little later because we are going to be using that as part of our one of our construction documents we're going to be turning in for our final exam grade for this 1317 class. Okay. All right. So then the next thing I want to talk about, it's the floor plan itself. And what I want to start before I start doing anything, because remember what we always do is we do our walls first. So we drew our walls first. Unfortunately, though, the walls that we have here, none of these are the kind of wall that I need specifically for my house. For my house, I want to use one of two options. These are the options that I'm going to give you. Very typical of what we use here in El Paso. Unfortunately, most of these, I would have to say none of these are what we use here in El Paso. So you actually have to make your own wall. And this is what it takes to learn how to use the software. Again, all these little settings and everything that we need to do. So I need to refer to these documents, and the documents I'm referring to are going to be your wall sections. Okay. So what happens is these are the wall sections that we did in AutoCAD, and it's very similar to the type of wall section that you will use here in El Paso. Of course, that depends on the region wherever you're working on. If you're doing a house in Denver, Colorado, or Atlanta, Georgia, you have to follow their guidelines and their rules. Here for El Paso, this is generally speaking what you'll find here. Okay. So then the thing is, we need to get the software to work in the way that we need it with our particular wall section. And like I mentioned, right now, it doesn't exist. None of these are exactly the way these wall sections are. And this is a real life situation. You're going to find that you're not going to have that exact wall section, so you have to make your own wall. Well, I guess the better word is the wall type. So we need to make our own wall type in Revit to match one of these. Okay. I will give you two options. This is the stucco wall section that we all drew up, and on our wall section folder a couple of weeks ago, and I'll probably put it on the folder for this week also. I'm also going to put you a copy of the brick. If anybody wants a brick wall, more it's a good wall. Also, you can use. Okay, I haven't been presenting at all. So, like I did mention, you will have the option of either a brick or a stucco wall finish that you want. Either one will work. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start developing, and I'm going to show you on this video how to develop your own wall type to match this wall section exactly. Once again, this is a real life skill. You will be asked to do that in real life if and when you get to design with an architect, if you get to work with an architect. And so these are the wall types. These are two wall options that we want to use. And the one that I'll work with for now, let me think of this. Let me think of this. It's probably going to be the stucco wall. Okay. I will probably make you a video on how to create the brick wall because it's a little bit different. But for now, this is going to be the stucco wall section that I'm going to create for you. Okay. So that's how we're going to do this on this video. As a matter of fact, let me think about this. I think I'm going to make you another video just for specifically the stucco wall, and then another separate video for brick wall, and then another video on how to start drawing this thing up. Yeah, let me do that instead. That way I can use these videos in the future. Okay. So let me, I'll see you on the next video.